Hi, I'm John Heller, and today I would like to talk about the current state of the MLB, the NBA, and the NFL. So, there has been a few surprises in the MLB season so far. So far, the Padres are in second place in the NL West, and the San Francisco Giants have been a big surprise. They're in first place in the NL West. I did not expect the Dodgers to be in third place, but they still have a solid record and expect them to likely be first by the end of the year. That's what I expect to happen. They've dealt with a blow of injuries so far, including Corey Seager breaking his hand, Dustin May out due to Tommy John surgery, and Cody Bellinger just came off the injury list. Their bullpen is still the biggest weakness. Jansen is having an inconsistent season. All season, they're left with players that they've left with men on base all season. That needs to change. With Cody back, I wouldn't be surprised if he came back with a vengeance. If the Padres and Giants continue to play like this, I think they both do have a shot at the division, at the NL West. The Dodgers have won the division 8 straight seasons, and they do now have some competition. Fernando Tatis having a great year, and Buster Posey's having a career season. For the NFL, Tom Brady has actually been scouting for the Buccaneers, which I found quite interesting. Why not? He has a lot of experience. The Titans made an offseason explosion by getting Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones, exchanged for a 2022 second-round pick and the 2023 fourth-round pick. I think that is a steal for the Titans because they were able to not be able to give up a first-round pick in that deal. Jones has made 5 consecutive All-Pro teams, laboring through a 2020 campaign on a strained hamstring. Despite only playing in 9 games, he still had a good season, collecting 59 catches for 772 yards. I believe that Jones and A.J. Brown will be one of the best duos in the NFL if they stay healthy. That is exciting to watch. The Yankees have had a severe disappointment, and they haven't been playing up to expectations so far. I've been a big nemesis of Brian Cashman, but this team hasn't won a World Series since 2009, and this is not the Yankees we're used to seeing. They just got swept by the Tigers, and now, just recently, they got swept by the Red Sox. So I expect big changes that need to happen if it involves their manager Aaron Boone, or if their hitting coach Marcus Timms, or they gotta do something about this. Shohei Ohtani is one of the most exciting players to watch. He can not only hit, field, run, throw, and hit for power. He could go 100+ gaps. He's been one of the most best starters in the league, and that is an impressive display. And it's fun to watch. I expect that the NL West, not the West, the NL East, it's been a back and forth race all season between the Mets, the Nationals. All the teams are in that race. The Phillies, and expect that to be it towards the end of the season because all teams have been inconsistent throughout the season. I feel bad for Mike Trout. He hasn't gotten any help, and I wouldn't blame him one bit for demanding a trade. Francisco Lindor just signed a $320 million extension. He's been one of the biggest disappointments this season. Jacob deGrom, though, has been having one of the best seasons in history with the lowest ERA through 9 starts out of any starter in MLB history. 0.62 ERA. It's the lowest ERA out of any starting pitcher of all time. And not only that, he has a resume of 2 Cy Young awards. But the team has held him back, and he hasn't been getting much support throughout his tenure with the Mets. And no one could have predicted deGrom being this good. Now, about the NBA. The Lakers were first-round exit, but Anthony Davis,
He had trouble staying healthy, and LeBron didn't have any help.
Dennis Schroeder was supposed to take the load as the second option, but he didn't do enough scoring. He had 0 in Game 5. And he had 20 in Game 6, but that wasn't enough. Devin Booker, though, was on another level. 47 points. The Phoenix Suns are something else this year. And I got to give Coach Monty Williams a lot of credit. He inherited a team that had the worst record since he came in as the coach, and built it. And they almost made the playoffs out of the bubble. They won all their games in the bubble. So you got to give that team credit where credit is due. And they play the Denver Nuggets in the second round, so that should be a good series. It's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. I think the Suns are going to make the Western Conference Finals. That team chemistry is off the charts, and I wouldn't be surprised one bit if that happened. And now the Clippers and the Mavericks, that was some series to watch. That was entertaining basketball, to say the least. And this is the first time in NBA history that the road team has won 6 playoff games in a row. And that is what happened to Clippers and the Mavericks. Luka Doncic, he's 22 years old. It was never happened before. Like, he was on another level. He averaged 35 a game that series. And in Game 7, I mean, he was torching the Clippers all series. But the reason why his team didn't win that series, he didn't have any help. Well, Porzingis didn't do enough that series. He averaged 15 a game, and he was very inconsistent. He stunk that series. And if Porzingis could have gave a little more, I think the Mavericks would have won that series. So I have to give the Clippers a lot of credit. They were down 2-0, and in Game 3 they were behind 30-11, and they didn't back down. They kept fighting. Gotta give Kawhi Leonard credit, and Paul George, who has been criticized for his playoff struggles, and he had a good series. He scored 20 plus in every game he's played. And gotta give the role players a lot of credit too. The Mavericks players, except maybe Tim Hardaway Jr., were not doing well. They didn't give Doncic enough help. That's why they lost the series, because they didn't give any help. They didn't give Doncic enough support. He averaged 35, but you gotta give more support. If you have a superstar, you can't just rely on just one player. Like Steph Curry on the Warriors. He was a scoring champion, but they missed the playoffs because they were too reliant on Curry, and they didn't have a reliable second option. You had to rely on Andrew Wiggins or Draymond Green. I mean, that's not a reliable second option. Like with Kristaps Porzingis. The Mavericks don't have a reliable second option to reach the team to the next level. And for the Clippers, and like the Warriors, the Mavericks, they didn't have enough good role players to give their star player enough help to win games. And for Reggie Jackson, like, he got a lot of slack last postseason, but he stepped it up in real time. He averaged 15, I think he averaged 18, this playoffs, and he was a big factor in the Clippers winning the series. So I gotta give him props where props is due, and I expect the Clippers needed to win that series. If not, I think a good chance that Kawhi would have left the Clippers. So that was such a fun series to watch. And that, let's say, Heller out.